What's up, everyone? This is the Next Tape Podcast, episode 9 with Mikel, and
Risto Dicopoulos.
where we have conversations on different topics. Whoa. You're not Tanyka. Identify yourself.
No, I'm not. I'm here to talk about all the video game news and the video game industries. And learn a few things from me.
Okay, all right. So you're taking over the podcast. Is that what you're trying to say?
Pretty much.
Nah, we're playing. So basically, this is my good friend Russo, and we're going to be talking about a lot about video games today. Tanyka is not on this episode today, but we're going to say hi, Tanyka. How you doing? I know you're taking some time off. So, but Russo's here to take your place for now. So, today we're going to be talking about Spiderman 2 and Super Mario Bros. Wonder and Game of the Year predictions, and then a little bit on digital and physical media. So we're going to start with Spider-Man 2 and Super Mario Bros. Wonders. I played Spider-Man 2, obviously. Great game. You played Spider-Man 2?
Yes, I did.
And also Super Mario Bros. Wonder. I haven't played it. I've seen trailers of it. Very fun, creative game. So let's start off with Super Mario Bros. Wonder. What do you think of the game, RJ?
Well, the first thing I have to say is I've been playing Mario games for quite a long time, basically since Super Mario Brothers 3. And, the series has definitely stagnated, the 2D ones, with the new Super Mario Brothers series. That we've got 4 games from that same series, all with the same graphics, all with the same music, everything like that. And to finally get a brand new 2D Mario game after almost a decade, and seeing what they've done with this is absolutely amazing, man. They've really freshened it up while still retaining that beautiful 2D side-scrolling Mario adventure, man. Absolutely loved it.
Right. Yeah, I know the past years have been stale, boring. They kept recycling the same, but it got creative with this game. I noticed that a lot of things are coming out of nowhere, etc. How was Elephant Mario, by the way?
Definitely the big advertising campaign there was Elephant Mario. He was divisive to a lot of Mario fans, but personally I liked it. I like seeing all the characters turn into an elephant, and obviously you can even ride a Yoshi while in elephant form. It looks hilarious. But yeah, going to the game, basically there's 2 parts to every single level. There's the basic level, and then you grab this Wonder Seed and it just completely changes the level from doing like a 3D thing to having a big puffed up Mario to all of this crazy stuff going on. And then you have to grab the Wonder Seed at the very end. So there's always like 2 parts to every single Mario level. And the music is phenomenal, and the gameplay is always top notch, solid 60 frames. The graphics are amazing. Obviously, there's a new voice actor for Mario and Luigi. And if you played the game, played the series for a long time, you can tell, but Otherwise, I had an absolute blast, man. I was able to just sit
That's
down
awesome.
for a day and play it for 8 hours straight and 100% that bad boy, man. So much fun.
Nice, nice. So, like, do you think they should? Is there anything that they should do more for the next game? Like any, like
That's a
creative?
great question.
Yeah.
Um, well, what I think this is a start of a it's the start of a new 2D era for Mario
Mhm.
and the start of a new era for Mario in general, right? Because Mario's always played it relatively safe. Mario Odyssey really did kind of change it all up because
Mhm.
that was a big deal, and him throwing his hat and everything like that, transforming into all these characters. They
Yeah.
really mixed it up, and with Mario Wonder, it feels exactly the same way. And
Hmm.
honestly, if they just made a Super Mario Wonder 2, that would be perfectly fine. But it took them a long time to make this game in general, so
Mhm.
I don't know where they could go with this other
Mhm.
than we'll see.
Oh, okay. All right. So I'll be getting that game really soon, and also, it's available on the Nintendo Switch. If you guys are wondering, if you guys are not if you guys are not, familiar, it's not on the PS5 or Xbox or anything like that. It's on the Nintendo Switch exclusively. So go get it. Fun game. Yeah. So Marvel Spider-Man 2. Uh,
hmm
I think great game. Great game. I had fun. It took me approximately 27 hours to finish, I believe. 27. Yeah, 27 hours. And man, I think it's better than the first game. 10,
100%.
10 times better than the first game. Um, so what what do you think overall?
Well, I guess I have a question with that is like you say it's 100 times better than the first game.
Hmm.
I guess the main selling point of Spider-Man 2 is the story, right?
Right.
Is having Peter Parker Spider-Man, Miles
Hmm.
Morales, and the whole Venom, and I guess you could even say Craven as well.
Right.
But 100 times better. That's saying like it's a brand new game after, right?
I feel like, I mean, yeah, but I don't know. Maybe because I'm too much of a fan of Spider-Man, and that's probably one of the reasons why. So, okay, so we're gonna say two times better. Two times better. Lower the expectations a little bit. I would say two times better.
Well, still a phenomenal game.
Yeah, still a great game. I'll say the story is a little bit more darker than the first game. I would say a little bit more darker.
Oh my
Um,
God, for sure.
Gameplay has improved a little bit. Not too much from the first game. Didn't throw, uh, but it improved a little bit.
The
Uh,
web wings, right? What did you
oh,
think
the
about the
web!
web
Oh,
wings?
awesome, awesome, awesome. It felt like playing Superman 64. Remember that game?
Superman 64.
Yeah, Superman 64. You go into
That's a
the
horrible comparison if
oh,
you
no, like
compare it
when you
to
no, like when you did the wings, you go into the circle rings, and then you just flip.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
that's what I felt like. That's how I felt like. So like not the whole game is Superman 64, and obviously my dog agrees. You can hear in the background. But yeah, uh that's what I felt like. Um Using your wings. And then just like I said, the story is pretty good. I don't want to spoil it, but let's
No,
go
no spoilers for the story?
let's go into a little bit. So what's your
Okay.
like what is your favorite part? And then I'll go on to my favorite part of the Marvel Spider-Man 2 story.
My favorite part has to be the story. I think, and this is just my opinion, I think they told a better story than almost every Spider-Man movie that's came out, man. They did Venom so good in this game. It is phenomenal. And I guess we're not going into spoiler territory, but the stuff they do with Venom and the whole Craven situation there, and
Right.
even with going back from Miles and Peter, um, both of them had such a dynamic story. Both of them played actually quite differently too, because
Mm-hmm.
as you can see from the trailers, the symbiote kind of fused with Peter, right? So he had a lot of symbiote powers, while Miles, he had a
Right.
lot of those electric powers and everything like
Right.
that, right? So both of them felt really good
Mm-hmm.
and also really different to play. And the stories were also very, very different too, similar, but it was Miles growing up to being Spider-Man, while Peter, it was rekindling that old friendship with Harry.
Right. 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 Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That those were my favorite parts as well of the story. What do you also think about this is a little bit of a spoiler, but like there's two things. What about Miles Morales' suit? What's your opinion on that suit? Because
What suit are you talking about, right?
so,
Because the suits in that game are amazing, right? Because you could pick the Into the Spider-Verse suit and it plays like that, and
so not Peter's anti venom suit. I'm talking about towards the spoiler alert towards the end of the story.
you might as well just go all in with the spoilers at this point, right? Like,
No, but I'm just gonna name like say a couple things. I'm not gonna go all in with the story or anything like that. But like the one where he has his hair out and
oh, okay.
the story basically the story suit towards the end. What's your opinion? Because I know a lot of people don't like it, and I gotta
Hmm.
be honest, I don't like it.
Wow.
I don't like the suit at all. And what's your opinion on the suit? And then I'm gonna go more towards it and tell you the information on
Yeah,
what the
please do,
reason.
because I'm not familiar with a lot of the lore with the Spider-Man suits, but if you had to ask me, I think it's a real modern take on a
Mhm.
Spider-Man suit, you could say, because at the end of the day, Miles is younger.
Right.
Miles is more of today's trend and everything like that, and that suit kind of represents what people are wearing and everything like that.
Mm.
But if you had to ask me, a lot of people might be able to put it together that, hey, that's actually Miles over there with the hair and everything, right? But
Yes.
I,
Like
I
yeah. The enemies might think, yeah, we got him.
well, even at school, right? Because he helped out at like Spider-Man, Miles helped out at
Right.
school with a lot of assignments. So
Yeah.
if you go in wearing that suit and
Yeah.
then you take off the suit, you still have that same haircut. You know,
Right.
people might question that.
Or yeah, even like if an enemy wanted to like, get close to Miles, they could easily just snip a piece of his hair, put it in the laboratory and search for DNA and just easily match the person that, you know, it's like Miles Morales. So, but so I got a source or I saw a source that, it is an Adidas ad. The whole suit is an Adidas ad. So,
Really?
yes, yes.
Oh,
And
that's interesting.
yeah, because the shoe is Adidas.
I never took a good look at this suit. I
Oh,
don't.
yeah, yeah, the shoes is Adidas. And there's been there's a Sony article out there that says that, yeah, that Adidas had a hand with the suit and the shoe.
Hmm, very interesting. So, I did you see an Adidas logo at all in the suit,
Yes,
or oh, you did?
the shoes, not the suit, but they did have a picture of the suit in the article. I can send you that a little later, or I'm going to put it onto this podcast
Okay, okay.
after we finish the episode. But yeah, that's been reported that it's basically Adidas that had a hand onto the suit, and also the shoes is basically Adidas, and there is a store in the game Adidas as well.
There's an Adidas store in
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2.
Yes.
Wow.
So yeah, obviously they were a sponsor to put money towards this game. There was a deal going on behind the scenes with Spider-Man 2. So that's
I
that's what.
guess, is that really an issue?
No, not really. It's been happening in generation of games, like sponsors. It's
Hmm.
not really issues. Like sports games get sponsors as well. Uh, I mean,
So the suit isn't canon though. This suit at the very
I don't know.
legitly at the very end, is this a
It could,
canon suit?
I'm not sure if it's canon. It might go on to the next game. I'm not
Or is
sure.
this like a just an Insomniac version of the Spider-Man suit, right? Because this is Insomniac's story
Mm-hmm.
in the Spider-Man universe. That's
Right,
basically what it is.
right. Well, I mean, we'll see the next game. It might carry over to the next game, and it might change the suit drastically because there's a lot of people that just hate the suit,
Wow.
don't like it at all. I'm one of them too. So I
Well,
went, yeah, I went on Twitter.
well, that's not good.
Yeah, nobody likes it. Even on Reddit, nobody likes the suit.
Well, isn't it called X now?
Hmm? Oh
Isn't
well,
it X?
yeah, X, yeah, Elon Musk and whatever. But anyways, um, yeah. So out of the, well, actually, you know what? Let's stop. How did you like Venom in the game before we go towards a conclusion?
Well, there's two things I want to say about this Spider-Man game. Well, you're asking me about Venom, so like I said, like I don't want to spoil it, but
Yeah.
basically there's a really amazing part with Venom.
Mhm.
There's a lot of amazing parts, but
Yeah,
the whole lead up towards Venom,
yeah,
the gameplay, the boss fight towards Venom, there's another part with Venom too. It's just they did Venom so freaking amazing. And there's a part where he screams and you just see all of his teeth and the inside of his teeth and his tongue.
mm-hmm.
And it is absolutely phenomenal. I've never felt so much fear in a Spider-Man game. When
Oh
you see
yeah.
Venom on stage or when you see Venom in that game, man,
Mhm.
like Craven really brought it too. Don't underestimate Craven here either as well, right? Because Craven, he was a menace to this whole city, but Venom stole the show at the very end, and it was absolutely amazing, man.
Right.
I
Mm.
I don't know what else to say, but the only downside with this game is the Mary Jane parts. So I want to know what you think about the Mary Jane parts.
Actually, I actually like the Mary Jane parts of the video game. So I don't know what's people issue with Mary Jane. I'm sick and tired of her being oh my god, I can't really pronounce this very well, but the Distanzo in distress. Um, I can't stand it. We had that with the Tobey Maguire movies. We had that with uh we having that with the the Tom Holland movie. She's a little bit of that. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's good that
Um,
to see a take on that, to see her, go out there and fight for her for her.
well, because I didn't know this game, because I bought Spider-Man 2 thinking I was going to be playing as the Spider-Man, not Spider-Man and Mary Jane, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, like, and they made her super overpowered, right? Because she had this amazing taser. I don't know where she got this taser from, but she has this amazing taser where she
Mhm.
can take out Craven's hunters in one hit while Spider-Man's here punching them like 20 times. So I'm genuinely confused. Should we have Spider-Man saving New York or should we have Mary Jane?
I think we should have Mary Jane.
Oh my goodness.
So Azamiya, make a Mary Jane sequel.
Oh, don't give them ideas, buddy.
Make that happen. Yeah, yeah. They kind of made her overpowered. You see what happened when one of the soldiers just like pointed an arrow at her, and then the arrow hit her shoulder, and then she just like took it,
Hold it out like
took
it
it
was
out
nothing.
like it was nothing. Like I was like, oh, okay, okay,
Uh,
she's stronger than this other boss character that's in the game. So like y- yeah.
yeah, it's right. Because remember when Spider-Man, this arrow, remember, or I don't know if you remember, but in the game, it's infused with Scorpion's venom.
Yeah.
So when Spider-Man got stung by Scorpion's venom, this guy had to run around the city with. He was seeing acid on the floor and everything. He couldn't touch the floor, and he had to get these plants to cure himself. You know what Mary Jane did? Pull out the arrow. That kind of hurt, and that was that.
That was fun. That was the most funniest thing. Otherwise than that, I liked it. I liked it. I don't know what other people's problem, but you didn't like it either. So
No, no, not at
everybody
all.
everybody has their own opinion. But make that game, Zamiat, Mary
Oh
Jane,
my God.
with Spider Man this time. Not Mary Jane, future Spider Man. Oh man. So what do you think about both those games? So Marvel Spider-Man 2 and
Mario Wonder.
Super Mario Bros. Wonder. And
No,
which one's better in your opinion?
well, both of them came out on the exact same day, which is absolutely amazing to see a PlayStation exclusive and a Mario exclusive, both mascots for the system to come out on the same day. They
Mhm.
have the utmost confidence in these games, and they both delivered. Both of them easily 10 out of 10 games, I would say, for sure, especially Spider-Man. Um, so my opinion on both of them, to tell you the truth, the whole journey in Spider-Man and seeing all of the villains and the gameplay and the story and the graphics and the fact that you can just point on the map and fast travel and snap of a fingers, you're right there.
Mhm.
Um, it's like that's a true PlayStation 5 game right there, and
Right.
that's a true game of the year game right there. But
Mhm.
Mario Wonder, it just like it puts one level in Mario Wonder, just puts all other 2D side-scrolling games to shame. The stuff they can do and the things they do in Mario Wonder to make it, well, wonderful. It's absolutely amazing. I was able to sit down and play that game and just absolutely enjoy it. But if I had to pick between the two and the journey I went through with both of them,
Right.
it has to be Spider-Man 2.
Right. Yeah. 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 Well, I haven't played Super Mario Bros. Wonder, so that I will be playing soon. But obviously, Marvel Spider-Man 2, I believe, Game of the Year. It should. Well, Spider-Man 1 should have been Game of the Year 2018, but that's another story.
The
But
Yeah, we won't get into that, but we know who the real winner was that year.
but yeah, Spider-Man 2, Game of the Year for me. Had fun, enjoyed it. Um, yeah, I can't wait for what's to come for Izami app. They have Wolverine coming out soon. And then
Supposed to be based in the same universe, right?
oh yeah, oh that's awesome. Uh,
That's really cool, man. I'm actually really excited to see what Insomniac does with all of these Marvel properties because if they're
oh
given the free reign with
yeah,
this, then the possibilities are endless, man.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I do agree with that. So yeah, Game of the Year. Game of the Year.
Nominee, Game of the Year nominee. That's Let's put that in big underlines under that.
We'll see. We'll see what happens this year. But if that doesn't win Game of the Year, I will go up to who owns the Game of the Year award and complain so they can change it, right? So, um, going on Game of the Year. So, Game of the Year predictions this year. There was a lot of games this year, a lot of great games.
Amazing year this year, man. Amazing.
I don't know. I don't remember the last time there was this many great games.
No, I can't remember either, my friend.
So, so I'm going to pick three, and you're going to pick three from the list.
Why aren't you gonna name off all of the Game of the Year contenders, or?
Yeah. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do those Game of the Year contenders. So some of these ones I won't be pronouncing very well, so just help me out here. The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. So obviously,
I got some opinions on that too, but obviously a phenomenal game for the Switch.
Yeah. Is it Baldur's Gate 3?
Yeah, Baldur's Gate 3.
Baldur's Gate 3. Starfield. Everybody has an opinion on that.
That they do.
The true game of the year, Marvel Spider-Man 2.
Amazing game. Amazing.
Yeah. Resident Evil 4 remake.
Beautiful remake, man. Capcom doesn't miss these days.
Mm-hmm. Sea of Stars. Never played it.
I've never actually heard of it. It's I have. I think it's like an old school RPG, right? It has the 2D spirits or sprites and everything, like it's 16-bit.
I think so. And then Armored Core 6. Yeah, Armored Core 6. Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Final Fantasy 16.
Mm-hmm.
Hogwarts Legacy. Is that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Hogwarts Legacy.
Diablo 4.
Yes.
Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
Yeah.
And then
amazing game.
Yeah. Then the last one, Alan Awake 2.
No love for Dead Space?
No, Dead Space will be on here? Okay, so Dead Space. We'll put Dead Space in there. Yeah.
Dead Space, and this might be divisive. Obviously, it might not be Game of the Year, but Assassin's Creed Mirage did come out this year.
And it went back to its old roots, I heard.
Look, the wife loves the series. She's played every single Assassin's Creed, and she loves this one to death too. I think it's just, if you love Assassin's Creed, you're gonna love this game too.
Okay. All right. So you're gonna pick, three games that you are predicting that will, be nominated, and I'll pick my three as well.
So how long is this so in the Game Awards, right? How many nominees are going to be in the Game Awards for Game of the Year?
Oh, shoot.
Are we going to have 8 or 6 or?
I think it's let me check that. I thought it was always 4, wasn't it?
4? No, there was no way it was 4. Right? Because last year, wasn't there 6? With God of War, Ragnarok, Elden Ring, Stray, Xenoblade Chronicles, Horizon, I think Horizon Forbidden West, and there was another game as well. I can't remember, but I don't think there was 4. 4 was
okay. Okay,
especially with this year too.
All right, so let's name. Okay, so you're gonna name 5 because I only played around 3 of them, and or only seen 3 or 4 of them. So like let's go with I'll do 3 and then you'll do 5 because you played all of them. You played most of them. So go ahead and do your 5 game of the year predictions.
My 5 game of the year. So the game of the year nominees.
Yes. Nominee prediction.
Nominees. Okay, okay. So we're gonna get the 2 out of the way, even though so Baldur's Gate 3, obviously that's been the big talk of the town. It's basically a turn-based RPG based in the Dungeons and Dragons universe. Both I'm not the biggest fan of turn-based RPGs, and I've never experienced anything with Dungeons and Dragons, but from what I've heard, it's one of the most well-made RPGs out there, period. A lot of love, a lot of care put into this game. And, you know, I think it deserves a nomination. Obviously, it's for an acquired taste. So is it the game of the year? I don't know, but yeah, I think it deserves a game of the year nomination. Um, so my second one is obviously The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. Um, Personally, when you compare games that have came out this year, Diablo 4, Final Fantasy 16, and you compare it to Tears of the Kingdom, I feel like Tears of the Kingdom, yes, it's a lot bigger, it's a lot grander, and apparently the story's more cohesive,
Right.
but like the game runs horribly on the Switch. It does not run good on the Switch. And to even like I know that's going to get a lot of hate towards Zelda people, but it's the
Right.
same art style, it's the same everything. But you could say the same thing about God of War Ragnarok, but at least that had a continuation to the story. This game, I don't know because I haven't played the story, but my
Mm-hmm.
wife, she's put in 160 hours. Clearly, everybody else has put in over hundreds of hours, and the building mechanics are amazing in it. And it really is an achievement on the Switch. So I'm gonna have no choice but to put it in the Game of the Year nominations.
Yeah.
Um,
A lot of people have that as their number one game. Uh,
yeah,
the,
well, the
the other,
Zelda fans are rabid, man.
yeah. So, yeah, yeah, go ahead.
Um, so I got 3 more, right? So obviously Marvel's Spider-Man 2.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what is there to really say about this game other
Yeah.
than um, it's it, it really is something special, and every single PS5 owner should pick up this game, man.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
True.
2 more, huh?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out and say Hogwarts Legacy. I think that game did the community of Harry Potter and Hogwarts extreme justice.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you're a Harry Potter fan and you wanted to explore Hogwarts, this game does that for you. This
Mm-hmm.
game simulates the fact that you're a student in Hogwarts, learning the spells and being a special student and being engrossed in that whole world. And obviously, it's a sales juggernaut. It's the best selling game this year. And I've played the game, and or so has my wife, and we absolutely loved it, man. Like there's not much more you can say except this is everything a Harry Potter fan could want. Yeah, the combat's a little basic, but you
Mm-hmm.
have so many spells on your disposal. You have so many um just all of the school stuff you do. You study all these new spells and everything. You
Right.
gather like all of these pets and stuff. It's there's so much to this game and so much lore and
Mm-hmm.
so much love and care that I think, in my personal opinion, that Hogwarts definitely deserves the nominee.
Mm. Yep. I do think it's going to be up there in the
I
nominated. I really do.
It's a fantastic game, man. I was able to sit down and just constantly play it all the time. And so so we're going on my fifth nomination, and
Yeah, the last one.
so I got three games that kind of fall into this category, which is the Dead Space remake, the
Hmm.
Resident Evil 4 remake, and Alan Wake 2.
Hmm.
Um, what can you say? I'll go with Resident Evil 4. They made a phenomenal remake here. They stayed true while modernizing everything about it. I just, I love the campiness and I
Hmm.
love the gameplay of it. And obviously, the graphics are always good. The gameplay is always phenomenal. It's Resident Evil. What more can you ask? And
Right.
then out of nowhere, EA decided to remake one of their long lost franchises, Dead Space, and they actually put in the work. EA actually put in the work to make a beautiful remake for modern systems, which is Dead Space. And if you're asking me, I love a space horror game. And Dead
Hmm.
Space does it so beautifully. The graphics are amazing. The gameplay still feels the same, but with a lot of modern twists. They they kind of like they make the story way more like fast tracked. I
Hmm.
guess that might be the bad word, but they make the story a lot more modernized. It's a way more fast paced story, and just I love it. I love Dead Space to death. It was one of the very first games to come out this year, and EA surprisingly nailed it. You know, it's it's amazing. And then Alan Wake 2.
Yeah.
I love the first game. I love Control.
Right.
Um, sadly, I have not played this game
Mhm.
because it is not on disc. But I heard it's amazing, and that's all I have to say about it.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that a little later on disc, digital. But yeah. Um, that's a pretty good list, RJ. Um,
Yeah, right. So do you want me to name it off again? Right. So it's Hogwarts,
yes.
Spider-Man,
Hmm.
Zelda, Baldur's Gate,
Hmm.
and I would go with Alan Wake, even though I've
Hmm.
never played it. Alan Wake isn't a remake,
Right.
but
Okay.
so those are my five.
You think Milo agrees? You know.
Well, good. That's a smart
Yeah.
dog right there.
Yeah. So yeah, so I just only have three because I only played around three, but like the last one I never played, but I see trailers of it. So obviously Marvel Spider-Man 2, fun game. The story's great. The gameplay awesome. Everything about that game is just phenomenal.
It's probably the best PlayStation 5 exclusive, right?
Yes,
That's
yeah,
probably the best
yeah,
PS5 exclusive.
I do. Yeah, yeah. It is Final Fantasy 16.
My God, I totally forgot about that.
Great game. Great game so far. I almost finished it. But so far I'm having a great time with it. The story's good so far. My last game is Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Great.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. Even though I haven't played it, the trailer looks great. The game looks fun. Yeah, and I can't wait to play it. And I did play the previous titles. I had decent fun with them, you know. But yeah, it kind of got stale. The second, I think the second game, it was the second game. Yeah, second game got kind of stale for me. Got kind of boring. But yeah, I had a little fun with them. And this one looks like it's a leap.
It is leaps and bounds ahead of any
Yeah,
Mario game, 2D Mario game you've ever played.
yeah, yeah. So yeah.
Shoot, I wish I would have gave my opinion on my favorite games that came out this year. I thought um just what was going to get nominated this year, right? Because I've never played Baldur's Gate 3 or anything
Mm-hmm.
like that, right? Like that's not my kind of game.
Right.
Personally, I would have put Final Fantasy 16 way above Baldur's Gate 3 for sure.
Mm,
Mhm.
right.
I would switch those two
Okay.
for sure.
Oh. And what do you think it's going to be the winner out of that? Like, grab your predictions before we go to the next topic.
I think personally, I would hope it's Hogwarts Legacy, but because of some topics I won't get into, I think it's going to be Baldur's Gate 3
Okay.
because it's an indie studio and it did some stuff to cater to certain audiences,
Hmm.
but and I'm not saying it's like a bad game or anything. I think Baldur's Gate 3 is a extremely well made game, but I think Hogwarts Legacy delivered on everything a Harry Potter fan could want. And
Right.
then also Spider-Man 2 also delivered on everything a superhero fan, not even just a Spider-Man fan, but a superhero fan could want. But my prediction is Hogwarts Legacy as winner of Game of the Year.
Oh, wow. Okay. Nice. Nice, nice. Okay. You know my prediction already.
It's Spider-Man.
Yeah,
It's
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Revenge from 2018 needs to happen.
The God of War isn't in this. Sorry to bring it up, but
That's
if
it.
you're asking me what the best PlayStation exclusive is, obviously you know my opinion on that bad boy.
Yeah, there should be no excuses. There's no um God of War this time. So make it happen whoever is running the Game Awards.
Jeff
That's
Keighley.
yeah, Jeff Keighley. Um make it
It's gonna
happen.
be Baldur's Gate or Zelda. Let's be realistic here.
But my sleeper, I'm gonna say my sleeper. Um let's see. It's gonna be Legends of Zelda. It's gonna be Legends of Zelda. Sleeper.
You think it's gonna be Zelda winning Game of the Year?
Yeah. I have a feeling it might be Legends of Zelda. Sadly, sadly. But I do have faith in Spider-Man too. So
Sadly is right, my friend.
yeah,
Zelda should not.
yeah,
It is what it is.
yeah. Great, great year for video games.
Yeah, but
Hopefully,
that's not all that like that's not all that came out this year, right? Because
yeah.
we
There's
have Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which is an
yes,
amazing game. We
yes.
have you know Diablo 4, which was basically just another Diablo, but it was still
Hmm.
an amazing game. And
Hmm.
and even I'm playing Armored Core 6 right now, and my goodness, that's a phenomenal game right there,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. Yes, there was I mean, there's a lot more games out there, but these are like the main like 13 games that like people were just like playing. But like obviously, like I said, it's been like a great year for
Hmm.
video games in general. So let's move on to the next topic and the last one: digital and physical copy. Sorry, physical media. I would say. So there's been reports that Best Buy has confirmed that they will start discontinue sales of physical DVDs and Blu-rays and disc in store online by the early of 2024. There's rumors that Walmart is dropping physical Xbox games soon, but further cuts will be made in the future that could impact other platforms. So that might be meaning like, PS5, PS4, uh, the Nintendo Switch in the near future. So what's happening to physical media now? Uh, what do you think what's happening to physical media?
Well, there seems to be a big push on having all things digital.
Mhm.
which is really the only push that it's coming from is really from Microsoft, from Xbox, right? Because they have the whole Game Pass subscription model and everything like that. Um, so I guess the two things you stated there, which was the Best Buy not selling DVDs. Well, the DVD business has, let's just say, it's seen better days, but
Mhm.
that's why the movie industry has stagnated so much, right?
Mhm.
Because like the only thing that's going to make a movie profitable is if it's a big blockbuster superhero movie, right? Like,
Yeah.
or if it's a remake or something. So, like, at least with like a comedy, the sales of a comedy had the theatrical release and then it had the DVD sales to back it up. So it was able to recoup a lot of the money a lot of the time. Now
Mhm.
movies don't have that option, right? It's they have the theatrical release and then that's it. It's going on a streaming service.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
it's really hard for movies to make back that money. With video games, like like if we look at video games, it's so much harder, especially with how
Mhm.
the video games are modeled, right? So let's take, for example, uh, how much Horizon Forbidden West was, how much it cost to make, right?
Mhm.
That was almost $145 million to make, just that game alone.
Mhm.
And to just plop that on a subscription service, you're not going to make that money back. And that's
Mhm.
how a lot of games are designed, right? Because that's how Capcom releases their games. That's how Assassin's or Ubisoft releases their games. That's even how Activision Blizzard releases their games.
Right.
And like basically what I'm saying is like, yeah, Xbox is leaning more towards that. And obviously, they even have a console that's all digital, and that's a way better selling system on the Xbox side than the
Mhm.
actual Series X. But on the PlayStation and Nintendo side, a lot of their presence comes from the big advertisements when you walk into a Best Buy or a Target or a
Mhm.
Walmart or a GameStop, right? You see a big banner that says Spider-Man 2 just released or Mario Wonder just released or something, right? Like
Right.
that's their bread and butter. With Microsoft, they're trying something different. So I get why Best Buy is not selling DVDs anymore. That industry has just completely changed, if you ask me, for the worse.
Yes.
And then with Walmart not selling Xbox physical games, that's
Mhm.
just the business model they want, right? They just want everybody subscribed to Game Pass. And I have nothing against Game Pass, but if you ask me, that brings the quality of
Video game.
games down
Yeah.
because all you have to do is release it on a subscription service and there's no recouping that cost, right? So
Mhm.
like if you release, say like a big game like Diablo 4 on disc, that game has to work on the disc day one, right? If it doesn't work, people return that stuff. So there's big consequences on if a game doesn't work straight out of the box,
Mhm.
right? But obviously, Microsoft has a different plan for all of this stuff. I hope this doesn't affect too much of Activision Blizzard's
Mhm.
like output and everything like that because they do make good games, right? I'm a huge Crash Bandicoot fan, everything like that. But I, I guess the whole physical and digital thing, I
Mhm.
don't think that's ever gonna go away for
Right.
PlayStation and especially Nintendo.
Right.
Nintendo, that's their bread and butter. PlayStation, I think that's a side hustle for like you know, like obviously PlayStation gets more money from having a digital version, but you see the PlayStation PS5 Slim, right? It's a detachable disk drive. They're not giving up on disk. And then the other thing is Horizon Forbidden West. They have a complete edition, and it comes on 2 discs, right? So one disc is the full game, and then the second disc is the DLC, as well as Final Fantasy VII Remake Part Two, whatever the heck they're calling it. That's 2 discs. So PlayStation doesn't seem to be giving up on that.
Yeah.
Xbox, they need to try something new, right? Because they're not winning in the console space. They're not winning on exclusives. So if they like that's just my opinion. But if they're able to throw together their mass amounts of funds into a subscription service, because I don't know if your listeners or anybody have seen the leaks, but to get Star Wars Jedi Survivor on Game Pass, it was going to cost them like almost $200 million, or I'm just estimating here is a big number, but it would have cost them millions and millions of dollars to get Star Wars Jedi Survivor on Game Pass, right? So Microsoft has that kind of money to throw around and to kind of play around, and I'm happy that they're doing something different, but they've bought up this whole industry and they've made it into this whole subscription service model, and video games aren't designed for that, right? Because you can watch a movie and you're done. You can listen to a song, which is usually 3 to 5 minutes, and you're done. A
Yes.
video game, if you're lucky, on the short end, it's like 10 hours, right? But if you got like a game like Spiderman, you said you put in 30 hours, right? I played
Yes.
Diablo 4. That took me and my wife 60 hours to beat. 60 hours.
Yeah.
Hogwarts Legacy, it took me 40 hours to beat that game. Like, video games are designed to be that way, and to have them in a subscription model is just, I think it's bad for the industry. And I'm sorry for the rant, but I'm so against going all digital, especially in video games and even in DVDs too, because I started buying DVDs again. But I'm so against that model that I will fight it.
Do you think a lot of companies such as like or like such as like Best Buy or Walmart are looking at this, looking at the metrics, numbers, thinking that nobody wants to buy physical media anymore. They always like to stay home, play their video games, watch their movies. Um, do you think one day every store is going to follow suit and it's just going to be like forced people just to buy digital media? What do you think about that? Like, do you think that's coming soon?
Um, so I guess the main question here is, why do people go into a Best Buy, right? So I guess the question is, why do you walk into a Best Buy? I guess it's just to see what kind of sales they have. And I would you ever buy a TV digitally? Or would you ever buy like a washing machine digitally? You would kind of want to see what it's all about.
Yeah.
I guess it's tough to say. I can see why they're not selling DVDs anymore, but with PlayStation and Nintendo having such a big presence, like when you go into a Best Buy, you either think of buying a TV, a computer, or something for Nintendo and PlayStation, right? Or even an Xbox for that matter, right? Regardless of how big and small their thing is. I don't think I think the DVD stuff makes sense on Best Buy's thing. It's less stuff to, you know, take in for the shipping and receiving. But
Right.
I don't think like PlayStation will always have physical media as well as Nintendo. But they could have released this PlayStation 5 Slim all digital, but they didn't. They have a disc, an optical disc drive, or whatever you want to call it. They're not
And,
giving
and,
up.
and yeah, that's good news. That's good news that I thought that's what's going to happen. I thought they were going to no longer release the physical version of the PS5, and and it's yeah, I that's what I thought, but they were they re-released the Slim or the Slim version of the PS5.
Hmm.
They have a physical and they have a digital, and yeah, so that's good news for physical media. That means they still support it, but I'm thinking, how long is that going to last? How long is that going to, the P will the PS6 have just a digital console, or will it also have a physical and digital console? So
Hmm.
that's where my worry is. It's like, you know, I like physical media over digital, to be honest with you. I like going into stores and buying versus buying it on digital, and it downloads overnight, and then um yeah, I mean, I can see how people would like to just stay home and basically just download the game. But what happens if you have disconnection issues? What happens if
Yeah.
the company delists the game,
Hmm.
right?
That's a big one.
Yeah,
Or if you have
delists the
bad
game.
internet, if you have bad internet and you can't
Yes.
afford it, or if you're a college student and you're doing on 50 megabytes per second on your download and upload speed, like
Hmm.
it's going to take you like
Hmm.
3 days to download a game like Star Wars, right? Like Star Wars was like almost 140 gigs. If you don't
It's
have fast internet, you, like look at the new Call of Duty. The new Call of Duty is over 200 gigabytes. That takes you, if you don't have good internet, that's going to take you a week to download that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I do agree. But hopefully, um, it will still last because like it will mean a lot of stores will close, such as GameStop,
I don't
or
think
they
GameStop will. This is a whole different topic in itself,
yeah.
but because GameStop has kind of expanded into merchandise as
Right.
well as selling games, like don't get that twisted. The used market for games. So you go in and you trade your game into GameStop. Everybody knows the deal. They offer you like $20 and they
Mhm.
sell the game for like $70, whatever they're selling it for. They're making a
Yes.
killing. They're making a killing. And as a consumer, you're looking at it like, oh, well, I could spend 89.99 on Star Wars, or I can buy the
Mhm.
used copy for 69.99. No matter what, GameStop is making like $40 off of that. So
Mhm.
that whole industry in itself is not stopping, as well as the advertisement that PS5 and or PS5, Sony and Nintendo get from being
Mhm.
in store shelves, right? Like go to the source. I don't know if Toys R Us still sells games. You go to GameStop, you go to Best Buy, Walmart. That they're all still selling games, and they all still have electronics section and everything like that. And
Right.
like it all has to do with like a lot of,
Headquarters.
huh?
It was you would say headquarters.
What do you mean by headquarters?
Like if they made the decision, like to decide not to put physical media or in general.
I can't see that happening just because
Yeah.
not only is PlayStation not stopping it, but EA, one of the worst companies out there, they're still making physical versions of their games, right?
Right.
Ubisoft is still doing it. Like
Mhm.
all of these companies still see the merit in having a physical game. And that goes into a whole other discussion of the saying goes, you will own nothing and be happy, right? You'll be on a subscription service, you'll be renting, you'll be, it's everything. It's everything, right? You own absolutely nothing. And that's
Mhm.
exactly what these corporations want. But at least Sony and Nintendo are keeping that alive. And I
Yeah.
think they'll keep that alive forever just because they're a
Hopefully.
Japanese company.
Oh, okay. Well, we hope because like your favorite game, like like you said, Alan Wake too.
Oh my God.
The company behind that game decided to go digital because it's
Yeah.
cheap and and I think they make more money by selling games that way. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
hopefully, go ahead.
So do you want me to talk about Remedy and Alan Wake and the
Oh,
whole Epic Game Store and everything?
yeah, go ahead. Yeah, check me on
Sorry,
that.
sorry everybody for going on these rants. I'm just I'm just happy I'm able to get a platform to tell you how the video game industry is.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Um, so basically, what the deal was with Alan Wake 2. So the story goes is Alan Wake, the first one, it was released on Xbox 360, obviously physical media and everything, collector's edition, all of that stuff. So then after that, they did release another game called Quantum Break, Xbox exclusive. There was a physical version for that and everything, and then they released another game called Control, which was physical version all the way, PS4, Xbox One, all that kind of stuff. And then they released an Ultimate Edition, PS5, Xbox Series, physical version, everything like that.
Hmm.
And then the Alan Wake remaster, which was released on PS4, PS5, Nintendo Switch, and Xbox Series and Xbox One. All physical. Everything was physical. And that was published by Epic Games, right? So Remedy, I don't know if exactly if they were bought out by Epic or
Hmm.
not, but
Hmm.
basically they've had some sort of partnership where Epic kind of funds the projects and Remedy makes the games. So
Right.
basically, so Alan Wake 2 was announced and everything like that. And they said it's only going to be digital, which was absolutely heartbreaking for a studio like
Hmm.
this because they make phenomenal games. I've played them all. They're amazing. And for them to just say we're going all digital because it gives us more time to work on the sequel and
Hmm.
to work on the game to make sure there's no updates or everything. Let alone there was a patch that just came out today that fixes over 200 problems with the game, but that's a different story. But
Hmm.
basically, they said that's why we're releasing it digital, so it gives us more time to work on it and everything like that.
And
I'm
it's more cheap, right? They said,
100%. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. They said it wasn't going to be 89.99. It was going to be 79.99. These are Canadian prices. So
Hmm.
ba- basically, it was just all of these excuses, and here I am scratching my head, like, why? Why do this? Because Epic Games, which is the creators of Fortnite and everything, they literally release physical versions of Fortnite and they do
Right.
all of this stuff. And to see a game like Alan Wake 2 just completely constrained in the physical or digital form like that, it's just it's heartbreaking because that game has always been physical and that company has always valued that kind of stuff. And I don't know if Epic has the influence on that or what the deal is, but
Hmm.
that's the only reason why I'm not purchasing the game day one. I will buy the game. No matter what, I'm gonna be buying the game. But
Right.
I'm gonna be waiting till a massive sale on that game. And that's just such a shame because these developers deserve
Yeah.
so much more.
Yeah, they deserve a lot. Yeah, I mean, every developer, like from every gaming company, deserves our money because I know how hard it is to work on these games. And for something like that to happen, like for it to be, digital, and for a fan like you to be disappointed on that, you don't want to purchase it on a discount day. You want to,
I
support
want to
them.
support the devs, man. 13 years. I've waited 13 years for this game, man.
Yeah.
And I bought all the DLC on the Xbox 360, 1,500 achievements on that game. Got it on the PlayStation 5. I couldn't collect all the coffee thermoses. Sorry, everybody. But otherwise, basically, I just think video games deserve to be on a physical media because they're different from movies and music.
Mhm. I do think the same thing. I do think the same thing too. I do think video games are different than every other media, and they should be treated differently. So hopefully, physical stays, and digital is not the focus. So, because I love getting physical media because the deluxe version of the video games, you always get like artwork, metal books, or figurines, or etc. And then if you just get in digital, you get none of that. You don't get those collectibles.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So hopefully they stay with both, but sadly I won't be surprised if one day digital will become the focus for video gaming. So yeah, that's my input on that. So that ends episode 9 of the Next Tape podcast. The Next Tape podcast is available now on all podcast platforms. We also have a website called solo.to, Next Take Podcast. And for contact, email us at Mikel, Tanyka at gmail.com. So, RJ, we talked about Spider-Man and Super Mario Wonder, as well as we talked about Game of the Year predictions, and also digital and physical media. Do you think that we had a great podcast episode without Tanyka?
I cannot answer that question.
I'm just playing Tanyka.
Look, it was just fun saying my opinion on video games. All I have to say was this year was absolutely fantastic for video games. And I'm just happy I was able to join you in this podcast, and I hope to join you in other podcasts on different opinions, man, because I got opinions on everything, and they could be good, they could be bad.
Don't worry, you'll be on future episodes, so like we'll have you on.
Oh, that's good.
Okay. But shout out to Tanyka.
Yes, thank you.
Shout out to her. She's a hardworking woman, and she likes to do these podcasts. So I enjoy working with her, and we'll keep working with her in the future. So that's it. I'm Mikel, and
I'm Risto Tekopoulos,
and we are out until next week with Tanyka.